Mother's Day is coming up for all of you with mothers in your life. Mothers in any sense of the term. Any mother of Mother Monster, Mother Dearest, actual mother that raised you. All of the mothers in your life would like an Aura frame because everyone likes an Aura frame. It's a great gift. It's a great anytime thing. It's a great thing to get yourself if you are mother, like Kesha, because I am mother. Aura frames are an incredible device for any purpose. They're a digital photo frame. Upload photos very easily with your app. You can become friends with people. There's a social aspect too, so I can send photos to Lindsay. She can send photos to me, genuinely or in a trolley way. It's just very, very fun. It's not just a frame either. It's a window into your memories, right? Think about it like that. Aura frames look beautiful. They're super easy to set up. And right now, they've got a great Mother's Day deal. Get $35 off and free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. Just go to auraframes.com and use code WHO, W-H-O, at checkout. That's A-U-R-A frames.com. Mention us to support the show. Terms and conditions apply. Give mom something better this year. Give her more of you.
You or Drayla?
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey,
Real.
hey,
Real. Come on.
hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And this is Audrina Patridge.
Do you know the world's supposed to end? They just started this, in Geneva, this particle accelerator that's 300 feet underground, and they are smashing particles into each other, trying to create black holes.
Why are they doing that?
Because they want to figure out how we're here. They want to prove the Big Bang, and that matter can come out of nothing.
It's just crazy how all this is happening while Lauren's gone. She has no clue.
This is crazy how all this happened while we were on vacation. So much happened while we were on vacation.
It's crazy
So
that
much.
I'm being told that so much happened while we were on vacation, and yet the first story on the list of stories today is that Danny Lynn Burkhead attended the Kentucky Derby, which literally happens every
every year.
There is nothing more reliable
It's
than
clockwork.
Danny Lynn Burkhead attending the Kentucky Derby.
It's
Nothing.
true.
Nothing.
Not a single thing. I barely know what the Kentucky Derby is. I know it's a horse race, but it's the only other thing I know about it is that Danny Lynn Burkhead's going to be there with Larry Burkhead.
She's
the
gonna
child
be
of Anna Nicole Smith.
She's gonna be there. I just it's crazy that we go on vacation, which by the way was fantastic and we should do more often. And I come back and I'm being told, oh my God, you missed so much. And the thing that I missed the most was Danny Lynn Burkhead going to the Kentucky Derby. It's yeah, that's every single year, you know?
This was slightly different and actually had kind of a narrative to it in a way that it doesn't always have a narrative. Because at one of the Derby parties, she wore, I would say, her mom's most famous dress. The most iconic dress that her mother ever wore. And she wore it. The one with
Wait, do you think
the
that's her
strappy
mom's
back.
most iconic dress?
If I had to sort of
I guess I'm
do if I had to do a police sketch, this is the dress I would describe.
Would you draw the picture of her with the back, kind of the
It's
gems
the back.
across it?
Yep.
Do you know what I did notice about this dress that I forgot to say the first time I recorded this before I forgot to press record? Don't
Wow,
even
you're
get-
revealing it.
I'm truly I'm so upset at myself. But do you know what I did notice that was not on the last original recording of this? You're getting the exclusive second recorded version of this. They altered it so she doesn't show crack, because in the original Anna Nicole Smith in the dress it
had
goes
ass crack.
really low, and it shows her she had a gorgeous
crack.
tramp stamp. Yeah, she has a gorgeous tattoo right above her tush. And what I like is for Danny Lynn, they said, you can wear the dress. We're just going to alter it so that you don't show your butt, which is
don't show
good.
upper
I mean,
crack.
this is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were we'll make
She made it her own.
We'll make it more appropriate. And also, if you notice, it fits them differently. Danny Lynn is not blessed with her mother's ample fake tits, it's just not, no judgment. I'm just saying she's younger. She doesn't have huge boobs. It's a different look.
And people liked this not just because she's wearing the dress, but because usually when she goes to the Kentucky Derby with her father, Larry Burkhead, never forget there was a huge paternity scandal about Danny Lynn, where it was very litigated. It was in court.
Very.
It took a very long time. You would think that the men just had to spit in a cup and do a DNA test. No, it was a long, drawn out thing for the court system before we got proof that Larry Burkhead is in fact Danny Lynn's father.
but this was after Anna
This
died.
was after
so
she died.
Anna,
This was
so
after
she
she died,
wasn't
yeah.
fighting with Larry. Like it
No,
wasn't
no,
like
no, no,
this.
no.
Okay, so her being alive never overlapped with that litigation.
There were
It
a lot
was-
of men. It was after she died, and it was because she was dead that it was sort of like, who's going to get her fortune? Kind
Also,
of.
there was a
about
lot
money.
of, if you recall, very bad actors in the legal
Oh,
sense.
yes.
If you recall the
Yes.
other Howard Stern, if you recall anything from that
Howard
show,
K. Stern. Yes,
basically any of those people were kind of not the best. So it is like, it is very heartwarming every year at the Kentucky Derby that Danny Lynn Burkhead attends every single year since she was born or whatever. Just kidding. I mean, just since she was very young, you see kind of like a heartwarming, slow, relationship between her and her father. And this is kind of the only public event he schleps her to. And I don't even think he's schlepping. She likes it, but I'm just saying, like,
I think she likes
this
it.
is because you're not seeing her that often. It feels very like, well, this is the thing that they like to do together, and it's the one public thing that we see her at, kind of.
This year, it was especially heartwarming because she wore the dress and then spoke about the dress and gave this interview, which I'll play again. It's cute. She never speaks, really.
She doesn't, or we don't get a lot of camera footage.
But she is 18 now, so she is an adult. Last year, she was 17. So
So they let her talk on camera? Is
they
that
let
what
her
you're
talk.
saying?
I think that Larry has been pretty protective of her as a
clearly.
child. You know?
Clearly.
I can't speak to his parenting beyond this, but this does seem like, okay, now you're...
He said he spends over $200,000 in storage bills to conserve all of Anna Nicole Smith's clothes for his daughter.
And one of these dresses is this iconic one. She wore it, and she had this to say about wearing the dress. It's very sweet.
Danny Lynn is actually wearing the dress that her mom wore to this event 21 years ago.
I feel good in it. Gonna once again try not to cry when I say this, but I can't know my mom, sadly, and this is one of the only reasons and ways I can. And this is the closest I'll ever be getting to a hug from her. So I've been like on and off tears the whole day.
Oh,
It's
my
very sweet. It's sad.
God.
She
It's
sounds
so
like her mom.
sad.
She sounds
Well,
like her mother.
Well, it's giving like my body, but like just
Like
that's
my
the only,
body, but sweet.
I don't love that that's the words that I hear in Anna Nicole Smith's voice, but she does sound a lot like Anna Nicole Smith.
She does. I mean, my broken gay brain thought Punnett Square found dead. I don't even know what that means, but I was like, wow, Punnett Square found dead. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying I don't know what it means. I'm broken.
You're saying it's beyond Punnett Square. It's not even Punnett Square. It's like they're clones or something. Like
Anyway, so we're happy for Danny Lynn. She goes to this event every year. The event always brings kind of the most random assortment of celebrities.
well, not to be rude, but it's kind of the non-Slay lead up to the Slay Gala. You know, like it's
Yes.
like we know the Met Gala's on the first Mondays of May, and then like the Kentucky Derby is like the
Is around
unslay
then.
version of it, where all the like C-listers can go and be like wearing the ugliest. Aside from this Anna Nicole Smith dress, which is beautiful, other people are wearing some of the ugliest shit you've ever seen on any sort of red carpet to the Kentucky Derby. Sorry.
No, but it's true. You have the ugliest
you're
fashion event
encouraged
of
to
the
wear
year
ugly shit,
and the
I
best
think.
fashion event of the year.
Back to back. And you're getting like the slew of kind of like Bachelor adjacent influencers, like nostalgic figures, Joey Fatone, like you're getting, it's a sports people who are doing sponsorships for gambling apps. Like you're just getting a real kind of second tier vibe. Even if it's Travis Kelce, it's still giving second tier to me, you know?
And even if you're like, well, why is Simone Biles there? She's like a little too famous and not known for being like a bad dresser. But she's with someone who
Her
is a football
husband
player.
is a football. Yeah, and I
know?
think he's doing some
So-
sport. He's doing sports betting stuff. Or I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
all the sports guys here are there to promote gambling services. And they're there to talk about gambling. Travis Kelce was like, I almost won $100,000. Like they're all there to talk about gambling, which is really
Sorry,
of
I'm
grossing me out.
just now reading for the first time this caption that Larry wrote with this picture of him and Danny Lynn, and it's like so cute. Continuing the Kentucky Derby weekend tradition going strong, we are recovering from a rockin' good time at last night's Barnstable Brown Gala. Now off to the races with Danny Lynn. She made me cut my hair with Hair by Ryan Austin because before that she said I looked like a low-rent Keith Urban. Ouch. Betting on a great time and good weather for a special family tradition. Hashtag McDougal, hashtag family, hashtag Kentucky Derby. And then he's like tagging all the different things. And then at the end he wrote Larry cut style, Hair by Brian Austin, in parentheses, I needed it. He seems like a cheesy guy, you know?
He does.
It's crazy that before Anna Nicole Smith tragically died, she hooked up with this cheesy guy.
Cheesy photographer. Never forget, he was a like a paparazzi photographer, but I think he was a photographer and he shot her. Like,
yeah.
I believe it was a photographer that she liked and was like,
Well,
you can make money selling photos of me.
Never
but also
forget,
we're friends.
Britney
you know?
also dated a paparazzi photographer. I do think that
Yes.
is not unusual and not that kind of crazy when you think about the proximity to these guys and kind of them little worming their way, but maybe charming you and being charmed by you. You are a celebrity. It doesn't. It's not completely odd. But he turned out kind of normal and nice, maybe.
Based on the public information we have, he seems like a stand-up guy.
Right. That's true. Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So who
Someone's
else
gonna
was
call in
at?
and be like, I live in the same town as Larry
know,
Bird, and
know.
he fucking sucks. You know, like.
Well, I
but
hope not,
it
because
seems like
he's
a nice
raising
guy.
her beautiful daughter who sounds just like her. Punnett Square found dead.
Punnett Square found dead. Another person at the Kentucky Derby who really killed me is a TikToker named Griffin Johnson, who you may remember from early TikTok. Like, we're talking 2019.
No one remembers
Hype
this
houses.
guy.
He was friends with Addison Rae. Just one of those guys where his whole thing is just like influencer, right? I'm gonna post photos and videos with my girlfriends. I'm gonna participate in the viral sounds and trends, and that's the beginning and end of my public service, right? My creative
It was kind
content.
of like he was one of the cute guys in the house where they all like used each other for content essentially, and like where it was paid for by an agency essentially, Talent X, that did TikTok management when it was first a big thing, and they rented this house and they put all these cute guys in a house and were like, have fun, you know, but like
literally.
it just meant for them to make crossover TikTok videos so they could each get bigger, like use each other to grow their own audiences. You remember this. If you don't remember this, honestly, like, we were blessed.
fine.
Like, that rocks.
You're
like,
so
you don't need
blessed.
to know this. And there was a reality show, whatever. This was, so the only thing to say is that this guy was one of those guys, right?
And now
He's sobbing in his car about a horse.
he got started when he was 19 years old, right? In this TikTok house, around 19. And now he's 26 and he is trying to move on. He's trying to like grow up, mature,
Sure.
invest his money in interesting ways. And one of the ways that he's
Sure.
decided to invest his money is by partnering with a company called West Point Thoroughbreds that lets people buy shares in
Minority,
horses.
yes. So he's a
So
minority,
he's a minority owner in a
this
Kentucky
horse.
Derby contestant, Sandman. And he has spent the past 6 months since he bought a minority stake in this horse posting nonstop content about this horse and how much this horse means to him and how much work he does to take care of this horse. He feeds it, he pets it, he washes it, and he's like, this horse means so much to me. He's a minority owner in it. We don't know what the percentage is. Let's guess it's like 1%. But he is taking it very seriously, and the horse lost, and he posted a video of himself crying in his car after the horse lost, and it was very strange to me.
It takes a lot to make me cry, but it feels good, and I think it's a testimony to the reason I'm making this video. I want to say thank you to every single person that supported Sandman and watched my content. Obviously, we did not get the place that we wanted in the Derby. That's not the point of this video. Thank you to everyone in the sport. Thank you to everyone that was a fan before they met me. Thank you to Mark Cassie for training such a spectacular horse.
And I was sort of like, what's the end goal here? Because like, I know that you make money if your horse wins. Like, it is an investment that makes money if the horse does well. Obviously, it's a competition. But I was like, why is there what's the TikTok angle? Like, what is he asking his followers to do? Because a random person on TikTok is probably not going to have enough money to invest in a horse. And then you click the links in his bios on Instagram and TikTok and you find out, oh, the way he's making extra money off of this is he's promoting gambling.
Right, he did a smart thing, which was he like took a deal for a gambling app and then was like, I'll invest in a horse and like they'll be kind of like, it'll be my thing or whatever. So I'll make money off one and I'll spend money on another and then I'll end up making more money. You know, like that's the whole thing.
You said something really funny and smart in the first version of this recording, which was that it's one thing to like hire a TikTok person to promote a movie or a song or a band or whatever, because you know, you can say what you want about influencers, but the act of influencing makes people money, right? It can move the needle.
You're giving, you're showing something, you're promoting something. They can go see it, they can go buy it, they can go watch it. Like, that's the thing, right? Totally.
But here, it's like,
It's weird.
wait, the fact that Griffin Johnson is promoting a horse doesn't make the horse better at racing. So what's the point here? And the point here is to get people interested in gambling. No, and it's really dark.
It doesn't make the horse faster.
Because it doesn't make the horse
It
faster.
doesn't make the horse faster.
That Griffin Johnson has 3 million followers.
I kind of thought he was sobbing in the car too, because the horse was like, being carted off to the glue factory. But then he does say, we have more races. We're on to the next Triple Crown race. We have a whole season left. So they aren't murdering the horse until at least the end of the season. So he wasn't sobbing for that. I'm sorry. I'm just being realistic about how
also,
the horses
if you're
are
a thoroughbred
treated.
horse, if you're a thoroughbred horse and you're in the Kentucky Derby, you also make money on. We talked about this. You make money on selling the semen too. You make money on the semen.
Sure, maybe Griffin gets a minority cut of this horse's semen. That would be so great for him. Maybe he's making money.
He could.
Maybe
he literally could.
When this horse jizzes at the end of his races and Griffin, they sell the jizz. Maybe Griffin Johnson gets a minority share of that jizz, and that's so awesome for him.
Good horse semen sells for millions. I'm serious.
My name's Griffin Johnson. Welcome to Sandman's crib. We're gonna show your crib, boy. He's eating right now.
Here he comes, big slobber.
It actually wasn't that slobbery.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad. Now he's not drinking his water.
My boy's snoozing. Once he gets his belly full, he's out. He'll probably be napping until 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Rina Sawayama and Chloe Grace Moretz launched a beauty brand called God Mode Beauty, and we don't know what the products are yet. They haven't fully announced like the lineup, but they've each individually, and this is what's interesting, individually posted the announcement about God Beauty. Rina partnered with God Mode Beauty on her Instagram. Chloe Grace Moretz partnered with God Mode Beauty on her Instagram. What's weird is that neither of them mentions the other one in their posts.
Basically, I think they're just like kind of trying to get their own audiences before they do the weird crossover thing, because I think that makes more sense. My question is, what kind of like queer chic ass like gay party did these two girlies like meet at in LA? Like this is the product of like one crazy night. This is like you meet a new girl and you're like, oh my god, she's so fun. Like, oh, I'm so excited to meet Chloe Grace Moretz. Oh, I've heard about, I love your music, Rina, but like it's so cool that we're finally meeting. And then you do like a shit ton of coke. Sorry, I'm not allegedly. I'm just, this is my fantasy. You do a shit ton of coke and you stay up all night and you're like, wow, you're ideating. You're like, here's what we really want to do. I really want to make a new brand. It'll be so fun. It'll be queer. It'll be gaming. It'll be music. It'll be tech. It'll be fashion. It'll be
anime.
And then literally you wake up the next day and you're like, what the fuck did I do last night? Why was I talking to Chloe Grace Moretz for 4 hours in a row? Like, I don't even remember.
Rina Sawayama wakes up, opens her phone, and there's like a DocuSign email that's like, please sign this contract with Chloe Grace Moretz for God Mode Beauty. And she's like, what the hell? Like,
and she's like, might as well. You know, like,
might
she's
as
kind of
well.
like, sure, okay, fine. This is Chloe. This is good, like, on Chloe, because I feel like Chloe, because
Rina's
she's
already
like
a queer icon. Chloe is a rising queer icon. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And like she was so kind of like keeping it to herself. Like that was her choice. She was a young actress. She started acting really young. She really like kept it to herself for a while. She was kind of living in that Pedro Pascal in between. Let's just say that. And where people knew, but it wasn't public or whatever. And then I think this is cool because now that she finally is like, come out, she has a girlfriend, blah, blah. She's like, oh, I can like do whatever I want. I can do stuff like this. I can do a queer beauty brand essentially, like with Rina Sawayama, who's a queer pop star.
And we're calling it a queer beauty brand because like aesthetically the vibes are very
are
queer.
Yeah,
they're not saying it's a beauty brand for queer people. Like they're not saying that, but like that's the vibe.
Who else is making a brand that's like beauty, gaming designers and digital artists? Like I don't really. It's just
because like and what's and the thing that's slightly off center here is that usually when a celebrity releases a beauty brand, it's like Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber, Rihanna. It's like it is tied to them. It's like Rihanna's like this is weird that it's a partnership of two very different people. Kind of the only thing they have in common is that they're like young, hot women who are queer. That's
My
it.
approach to beauty has always been about pushing boundaries and creating unique characters. With God Mode, I'm so excited to bring bold and experimental energy to a brand that celebrates individuality. I'm sorry. I'm just
Rina.
like, what? Yeah, that's Rina.
Chloe says, at its core, it's where gaming meets beauty, but it also pulls in everything else I love. Fashion, music, and culture, all under one roof. And it's like, okay.
It really is
It's
like
like, whatever.
It really, okay.
The top comment on Rena's post is a fan saying, girl, the album, which is so rude. And the top comment on Chloe Grace Moretz's post is Michelle Pfeiffer official going, fire, 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 because they're in a movie together that comes out
They're in
later
a
this year.
Christmas movie together. So Michelle
What's it
Pfeiffer's
called
like
again?
on it. It's called
Like, repeat the sounding joy? It's
Jingle
it's a
All
lyric.
the Way. Or no, it's like
Jingle
it's
All the
like-
Way.
No, it's
Wait,
called,
what's it called?
Be Merry, or like it's 3 words, but it's like from a Christmas song. Ugh, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask you about Christmas music. Christmas movie. It's called Oh What Fun.
Do you know I found a Christmas song that I love?
You did?
It took me whatever years,
Oh my
however
God,
old
your
I am.
ancestors are shaking.
I literally, but it's not a traditional Christmas song, but it's been embraced as a Christmas song. But I found one that I really like.
Oh, is it oh God, is it my least favorite one?
Which is your least favorite one?
Everybody's talking about the man with the bag. Although that is like an explicitly Christmas song. That's my least favorite song ever written. Any song, not just Christmas.
Everybody's talking about the man with the bag.
I
We
hate
talk about
that
this every
fucking
year.
song.
We talk about this every year. No, it's called Celebrate Me Home. Do you know that song?
No, that's not a real song. Who was that written by?
It is. It's Kenny Loggins. It's a Kenny Loggins song from the album Celebrate Me Home, and it's such a beautiful song, and it's been Christmasized, where like he didn't write it to be about Christmas, but like people play it on Christmas every year, and it's such a beautiful song, and it's about coming home for the holidays.
Barbara Streisand covered this song?
Yeah, that's how I first heard it.
Oh, see,
It's been
okay,
covered
that
by
makes sense.
everyone. It's been covered by so many
The
people.
way I literally almost said who wrote it, Barbara Streisand, and like
Kenny Loggins.
Wow. Okay.
Kenny Loggins.
Cool.
It's a beautiful song, and it is
never
technically
heard it.
Christmas, and it's the first Christmas song I've ever liked, if you count it as a Christmas song, which we do. You should listen. There's a version sung by Donna Summer on YouTube. Highly rec. Check out Celebrate Me Home, Donna Summer.
Oh, so it's a gay song. Great. Love it. God Mode Beauty, I was like, I got to find out more about this brand. Like, give me something. They haven't given us anything. I almost signed up for the email list, but it required too much identifying information. And I was like, why can't I just put an email address in?
It's like, are you gay? Are you straight?
I was like, you faggot. And I was like, I'm not doing this. So I went to their Instagram stories, and they had posted a Q&A box, and it said, ask me a question. And I was like, I need to do some research. So I asked them a question. Rena, have you seen Clouds of Sils Maria? Chloe, have you seen John Wick 4? Because I want to know if they are familiar with each other's work. I haven't gotten an answer.
I do think that they have, and now that I'm thinking about this, really, like Rena being in John Wick 4 and Chloe being in that show that I watched one episode about where she's in a video game, they do have a similar kind of gaming, anime, like they're inspired by some of the same things. Like I get it. The aesthetic works with what projects
when you
I've
think
seen
about
them
it,
take.
the aesthetic works.
And they're both kind of like really good Who Weekly girls, I have to say.
Yes. Oh, they're
I'm just
they're
saying,
perfect
like,
2 weekly celebrities.
we love Chloe Grace, 3 names Moretz. We talk about her all the time. And then Rina Sawayama, who like famously feuding maybe with Charlie, did the Crash out. They were used to be close, did the Crash. When that didn't blow up, something happened, didn't get invited into the Brat world. Kind of sad. I don't know.
There's a lot unknown about that relationship, but they're both, Chloe and Rena are both in their respective fields figures who have very fervent fan bases who want more for them. And
that's what we like the most.
That's what we like about it, right? Like, we're always like, this girlie's on the come up, this girlie's on the come up, and they're never quite passing whatever that like ambiguous line is.
And kind of like, maybe that's more for Rena, and Chloe had the great, like, the promise of young talent, like so much pressure. So, you know,
a young
whatever,
Meryl
like
Streep
she's the
or
next
whatever.
thing. She's the next thing. And it's like, that's never going to work for anyone. You know, that's never going to work in terms of like that panning out. Oh, I love her. Okay. You know what? We wish the best for God Mode. And I don't know why it's called that either. It's not really.
Well, God Mode is a video game term, so that's how they're working in. Yeah, that's how they're working in video games.
Where you get the Super Mario star and you can like you're invincible or whatever.
Yeah, you're invincible.
Home for eternity. Now I believe I miss each and every face. Come on and play some music. Turn on every love light in this place. I've got to find myself totally surrounded in love circles. Oh, my friends.
moving on
to the actual a lot. I can't believe all this happened while Lauren was away.
It's just crazy how all this is happening while Lauren's gone. She has no clue.
Bill Belichick went on CBS this morning, and this happened while I was on vacation, and I saw this like in the morning in my hotel, and I was like watching this, and I was like, oh boy, this would have been a good episode. Bill Belichick and his Bill Belichick, who's 73, his girlfriend, who is 24. We've talked about them before. Jennifer Hudson, Jordan Hudson, Jennifer Hudson. They went on CBS Sunday morning.
Send these two down the spirit tunnel. Am I right?
They went on CBS Sunday morning together, and I'm air quoting together because Jordan was in the video village. She was in like the tech booth, while Bill Belichick was in his ratty tatty navy shirt that's covered in holes and like eggs that he spilled in himself in the morning.
I think it's a sleigh look. He's giving youth.
No, you cannot have that face and that name and give youth. I'm sorry.
I know it's true. It's trying a little hard because it is kind of like
accept your age.
If a young guy or like a younger guy was wearing this like ratty kind of like worn in navy sweatshirt casual on CBS Sunday morning, you would be like, okay, it's a look, it's a vibe. But Bill Belichick at his ripe old age of whatever, like looking just normal old white guy wearing this like this kind of like purposefully.
If I wore that shirt, you would be like, Bobby, you're 39.
I think you would actually slay in this kind of like aged sweatshirt.
It's like, Grandpa, you spilled your eggs again. Like that's what it looks like. Grandpa, you spilled your eggs. Grandpa dribbled. Oh, Papa dribbled on his shirt. Papa dribbled on his navy shirt.
This is the work of his girlfriend / new PR person, Jordan Hudson, who's like, Diva, we're gonna dress you in an aged sweatshirt. You're gonna look so slayed, Papa.
What you're right about, we came to the conclusion that Jordan is Bill's sort of unofficial new publicist. That's sort of been the rumor for a while.
She really is.
As you pointed out, it's so true. That's clearly what she wants to be, and that's the role that she has assumed. But she's not very good at it. And the proof that she's not very good at it is that despite going with him and trying her best to control the content of this interview, he's promoting a memoir that he just released.
She makes him look terrible. She
makes him look
interrupts
terrible.
The interview.
And when the interviewer asks, how did you two meet?
Which had been previously stated that they met on a plane. They were sitting next to each other, which does feel now at this point untrue.
Like a lie.
It's giving untrue after this outburst. They said, he asked the question, and then she from Video Village says, we're not answering that question. We're not answering that.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
And then everything derails. That clip goes instantly viral. Everyone's talking about CBS Sunday Morning on Twitter.
Everyone's
and
talking
you're
about
like,
elder
that's
abuse.
so weird.
Everyone's talking about Jordan Hudson. The name on everybody's lips is Jordan Hudson.
But yeah, he has this new book, The Art of Winning. He used to be he's a very celebrated, famous American
the Patriots
football
when
coach.
they won
He
the
coached
Super Bowl
for the
so
Patriots,
many times.
right? Now he's coaching for UNC, Chapel Hill. Yeah. He's a college coach. And so he's still high profile. He's not like senile and incapable and incapacitated. Like he's a working man. So it's weird. Like it's hard to say like he has no agency in this when he's like still a professional figure who's functioning in society. But you can't help but think that Jordan is sort of like pulling his strings. She's just not doing a great job at it.
Well, then she posted on Instagram after this interview, her rebuttal was a screenshot of an email from Bill.
That Bill sent.
Reportedly from Bill. She posted it. It's in its entirety, right? It is set to the song Taylor Swift, Look What You Made Me Do, which is very me. Who wrote this? You? He wrote it? You wrote it? I don't know. You're saying,
sure
look what you made
I'm sure she did a pass.
Me do. I'm sure she did a pass. And in the email, he says, instead of blaming her, this was what this... At first I was asking Bobby, what does this email kind of prove, her posting this? But then I realized, as you explained and as I was reading it, what she's trying to do is pass the blame. She's like, I didn't do this. Look what you made me do. It's the media. The media made me do this. The media made me say, we're not talking about that. Because he wrote, it's an email from him, allegedly he wrote, we can expect that the quote interviews end quote podcast that will supposedly drive the sales will also come from similar samples. These appearances no doubt want to focus on whatever negatives they can extract from the book and all current events that don't have anything to do with the book that are most relevant to their quote ratings and their agenda, parentheses, which is not mine.
He's like, the media fucked up, the media was cruel to me, but I'm going to be a realist and say this is probably going to be good for book sales. So I'm not that upset.
I think this is a very roundabout way to have it not be blamed on her. I think she said, everyone's going to blame this on me, blah, blah, blah. But the media is being unfair to you, Bill. Can you write an email or whatever that kind of says that as much? Or like, I'll write it for you and I'll send it. So this is what that was.
I didn't fuck up.
And of course, the kind of caption is full statement to be released later today. I mean, she really is like, I'm the publicist, but she's not a very good publicist because all the news is about her and it makes him look bad and it makes her look bad because as soon as this shit came out, everybody's running to page 6, her former classmates from high school. Somebody who says she forced her way into the Dunkin' Donuts Super Bowl ad that she was somehow on. It's a whole piece. A whole piece in the Times about a documentary he said he wasn't going to sit for and do because of her, reportedly.
I think this is true, and I'm not just saying this as a joke. The classmate interviews on page 6, the anonymous classmates from high school are so funny because I think we all knew someone in high school where if they had started dating Bill Belichick, who is 50 years their senior, and we were interviewed about it,
I'd say
off the record, I go,
thing for them
makes
to
sense.
Do.
That's definitely what she would do. That's how she behaved in high school. It's like it doesn't really make sense, but it's what you say when you have a grudge or you just didn't like a girl in high school, and it made me laugh.
Okay, so she was a bitch in high school.
Exactly. She was a bitch in high school.
Aside from her just being annoying and kind of whatever, the thing that the tabloids really like to talk about is how after she met him, she amassed a $8 million real estate
portfolio
collection. So basically, like,
they're
after
accusing
she met
her
him,
of using his money to buy a lot.
She
of
bought
property.
like 3 houses. She bought like 3 houses casually.
Yeah. What really kills me is that if she were better at PR, which she's going to have to start being, you have to come up with a lie, right? That is the one question you should expect going into this interview with CBS News. And the fact that she shuts them down instead of saying, yeah, we met on an airplane. I ordered a seltzer, he ordered a seltzer, and I said, oh, you like seltzer too? Like, make something up and use it and say it every time. The fact that they weren't prepared and became antagonistic is just a failing on both their parts, not just hers.
Yeah. And it's funny because the real estate she's buying is like, she's buying apartment buildings. You know that? She's like a landlord. She's literally a she's giving landlord. She is a landlord.
God, I want to read this in full.
She's not giving landlord. She is landlord. Sorry.
I
My
paraphrased
brain is also broken.
from the I paraphrased from the interview with former classmates of Jordan Hudson, but the actual quotes are even funnier. Quote, that is exactly who she is, said a classmate from 24-year-old Hudson's high school. Quote, we are so unsurprised by this. None of us are shocked. We think it's hilarious. Everyone who knows her is so unsurprised by this. This is totally something she would do.
Sorry, but I fucking hope if I ever did anything and it went out in the news, my high school mates would be like, she fucking would do that. That's so like her.
She would do that.
She would
really
do that.
makes me
That's
laugh.
so like her.
Anyway, his book comes out this week. It's probably going to be a bestseller, despite all of this.
If Despite, maybe because of all of
because
it.
of, yeah, because
What's
of all
the
of
opposite
this.
of in spite?
Which is what he's saying.
I want to be famous.
Spring is here, and that means more time outside and less time stuck in the kitchen. With Factor, you can enjoy fresh, ready-to-eat meals that heat up in just 2 minutes. You don't have to prep, you don't have to clean up, you just get delicious, nutritious food that fits your busy lifestyle. You want to be outside in the spring air, inhaling all those allergens. You don't want to be inside making your apartment hot by cooking. Their meals are packed with flavor, they're super satisfying, and make it so easy to stay on track with your goals. With 45 menu options every week, you will never get bored, whether you're choosing protein plus, keto, or calorie smart meals. Factor isn't just for dinner either. They've got quick breakfasts, grab-and-go lunches, and even guilt-free snacks and desserts. So I always have something tasty and convenient ready to go. I like the pastas, personally. If it's got pasta in it, I'm a fan, personally.
If it's got pasta in it, he's a fan.
If it's got pasta in it, I'm a fan. And you can become a fan too by getting started at factormeals.com/who50off and use code who50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code who50off at factormeals.com/who50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. I've co-founded a multi-billion-dollar unicorn and had my hand in several other companies that have generated hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? So it got me thinking, why not just ask the people I aspire to the most? How do they actually do what they do? I'm so incredibly lucky to know some of the smartest minds out there, and now I'm bringing their insights along with mine, unfiltered, directly to you. On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll dive into the big questions everyone wants to know about success in business and in life. Through weekly conversations, you'll get the tangible tools, the real no BS stories, and undeniable little hacks that actually help you level up. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed and Odyssey podcast, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
This summer, I've been planning some various trips, and I have to say the number one thing I'm concerned about is mattress comfort.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of. Well, I've been wearing my Fitbit again, and I'm hearing about how I'm sleeping well, not well, whatever. When I'm in my bed, I'm just sleeping better. I'm just sleeping better in my own Helix mattress.
I mean, I'm right there with you, sweetie. If I'm not on my Helix, I'm not sleeping well. I'm tossing and I'm turning and I'm pissed.
I'm tossing, I'm turning, and I'm pissed. My Helix mattress, in case you didn't know, it changed the game. I heard about Helix through friends who swore by it, and I finally partnered with them to see what the hype was about. We took their sleep quiz, we told them our preferences, side sleeper, back sleeper, belly sleeper, whatever, and they matched us with the Helix mattress that was right for us. It's been months now, and we are sleeping deeper, longer, and waking up without that zombie mode fog. No more night sweats, no more waking up every time anyone in the bed with us rolls over. Just everything is better. So go to helixsleep.com/who for 27% off site-wide and a free bedding bundle. That's a sheet set and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. That's helixsleep.com/who for 27% off free bedding exclusive for listeners of the Who Weekly podcast. That's helixsleep.com/who.
I want to be famous.
Friend of the pod, Chris Murphy, shout out Chris Murphy, got the interview of the century. I mean, Chris Murphy, you pulled this off. It's incredible. It is an interview with the recently awoken.
Chris, you spit on that thing. You really spit on that thing.
Sleeping Beauty herself, Rip Van Hawk to a Winkle. What do you call her?
Hawk Van Winkle. I called her Hawk Van Winkle.
Hawk Van Winkle herself woke up from a deep sleep when she went to bed a few months ago. She's back.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed.
And it's a Vanity Fair Q&A. This is incredible. Letting her, and the headline is what gagged me. This is what I when I responded to Chris on Instagram. What got me was the word tries in this headline. Haley Welsh, aka Hawktua, tries to explain herself
because she really can't.
Just what's so funny is you could say she has a way with words, but she really only has a way with her own words. She doesn't actually have a way with the English language, which is what makes her so kind of charming, and why I think this was done as a Q&A, because they're like, let this diva speak for herself, and she will speak. She will speak. She will speak. Mm-hmm. She will speak.
Most of what she speaks is, I don't know. There are 22 instances of her saying, I don't know in this interview, by the way.
Well, it's giving
really
a
just a tick.
transitional. Yeah, it's giving it's giving
But
like
the fact that they left all of them in is really funny because at the bottom,
know.
what does it obviously say? This interview was edited and condensed.
not that
But guess
edited.
what they left in? Every single time she said, I don't know.
She says, I don't know. But the thing is, she says, I don't know, and then answers the question. So it's like half the time she does know. She says, I don't know, and then literally is like, here's the answer.
Obviously, most of this is about, how do you feel after starting this meme coin that lost a lot of people a lot of money? And she's like, I'm regretful. I feel sorry. I don't know. I didn't really understand how it worked. I've signed up with the wrong people. I didn't do my research.
After the crypto scandal, you went off the grid. What were you doing for those first 3 months? Where were you? She goes, oh, I hate to say this, but it was a much needed mental health. Just, what do you call it? A mental health break. I guess that's what you call it. They leave that all in. All in. They told her bad mood was a mental health break.
Mm-hmm.
My other favorite part of this that no one's talking about is when he says, when you're not podcasting, what do you do for fun? What brings you joy? And she goes, I really like cooking. I like flower shopping. That's my favorite thing to do. And then he asks this is a normal question to ask as a follow-up to you saying you like to flower shop. He says, what is your favorite flower? And she goes, oh man, you got me.
But then she goes, let's see, long pause. It says long pause, probably a peony. So she does have an answer, but originally she goes, oh man, you got me.
This podcaster says, damn, that was a good question. You got me good, Chris. Chris, you got me. I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
My favorite answer is at the end. They're like, so she's there, which you find out at the end of this interview. You find out that she's there with her publicist. Okay?
Of course. And it's not Jordan Hudson. It's a different woman, but it could be Jordan Hudson. Jordan Hudson might do a better job than this woman. I don't know, actually. Probably not.
Her name is Amy Sisoyev. And at the end of the interview, Chris is just it's like, okay, so what next, right? She's like, what does the immediate future look like for you? And Haley's like, oh, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow to play poker. And Chris says, are you a good poker player? And she goes, absolutely not. And then he says, this is a good question because, again, think of her crypto scandal. Are you playing with your own money? Is it high stakes? And she says, I don't know really how it works. I just tell them I'll be there and then I'll be there. I think they normally do it for you, but don't hold me to that. Amy, do you know? That's her publicist. And Amy goes, I know it's a celebrity poker tournament, so usually they supply the chips. And Haley goes, it'll probably be like last time. And then Chris says, you're playing in a celebrity poker tournament fresh off a crypto scandal. Do you have anything to say about those optics? Gambling after some people lost so much money on your coin?
He's like, crypto is gambling, and you are still doing gambling, even though you apologize for doing crypto, which was gambling, babe.
And Amy says, say the question again? Sorry, I'm confused. Chris repeats the question, and Amy goes, oh, we're going to skip over that one. And the interview ends. We're going to skip over that one.
I like that you gave Amy Hawktua's accent.
Well, I'm assuming she's got a twang, too. Why not? Jordan would not say the right thing.
This interview is brutal.
But you know what she got out of it? Slay photos.
She got slay photos.
She got a stylist. She got a photographer. She looks
fucking great. And but the other thing is, if you're wondering, which I was wondering about the podcast, like what's going on with the podcast.
I don't know.
He says, so what are your future plans with the podcast? And she goes, so my plans for the podcast right now are just rebuilding it, rebranding it, and then really trying to get good guests and where people will start watching it. I don't know. It feels good because I'm the official owner. Okay, so what's great about it is even though she was with Jake Paul's company, she owns the rights to her own name for the Hawktua pod, which I actually do respect. I think that's a really hard thing to maintain, especially like whoever negotiated this for her, whether it was Amy or somebody else, an agent or whatever, they did a good job because she's maintaining the rights to her own. I guess what would Jake Paul want with a podcast called Hawktua Podcast? Whatever, if they don't have the Hawktua girl, but she has it. The other funny thing is
the contract seems to have been good.
The podcast just launched, so it's crazy that now she's like, I gotta rebuild, I gotta rebrand. It's like you had the #1 spot. No one gives a shit anymore. You know?
I know, it's very weird. It's very weird.
I worry about her. I worry about Hawktua girl.
I love this part. I love this. My last thing I want to read, and then we can move on.
Everything is good.
She says her dream guests are Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus for her revamped Hawktua podcast. And she goes, those are just the women I've always looked up to. I hate how Britney turned out because of the things she was put through. But her book she came out with, it explains a good bit of it, which is why she is the way she is now. I don't know. She's inspiring.
I don't know. It's funny because I feel like I say you know a lot, like like I say to you like
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of it's the same
I have a
thing
tick
as
too, I'm sure.
yes, it's but but it's funny because it's kind of the similar to I don't know, because I am kind of like double checking with you that I said something smart.
I don't know. But I don't know is a misnomer because I don't know makes it seem like Haley doesn't know, but she does know.
She does know, and she'll say I don't know, and then she'll say what she knows, and you're like, you do know. Why are you saying I don't know? If I was her PR person, I would say, Haley, have some confidence. You do know. I don't know why my accent is like that too. I'm also going into a deep twang.
It's a deep twang. Let's move on to Beckham Watch. Beckham Watch.
This is a big one.
Big one. Huge one.
So, in case you haven't,
trouble in paradise. There is trouble in paradise. If you go to any like message boards, Twitter, where people like gossip about, they speculate about famous people, we participate in that. We read that stuff.
Of course we do. We do it for you. We do it for you.
Right.
We do it for you.
For a long time, ever since, not a long time, a few months. In the months that there's been this like alleged tension between Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz as a unit, Brooklyn Peltz Beckham and his family, as in the other Beckhams, David, Victoria, Cruz, Romeo, and Harper, his siblings. For as long as this tension has been alleged, the assumption has been one of two things. Brooklyn is upset with his brother for dating an old friend of his, this woman that he was friends with like 10 years ago. Maybe dated her, but not really the point. Like, he's upset that, I think it's Romeo. Romeo started dating this woman that he used to be like friends with.
The woman is 10 years older than Romeo.
Yes.
And there's been, the press has loved to kind of push this narrative that there's a rift between the brothers because the girl used to kind of hang in Brooklyn's crowd because they were the same age, like back in the day. Like she dated Rocco Ritchie, Madonna's son.
Ritchie, yes.
And whatever, and hung out. And so the press loves to be like, Brooklyn is pissed because he doesn't like the girlfriend or whatever. That's the narrative.
Kim Turnbull.
That's one of the narratives we're getting. Yeah. But you're saying you don't buy that.
Well, I don't buy that or the other narrative. The other narrative is that the reason that there's tension between Brooklyn Peltz Beckham and Nicola and the rest of the family is that Nicola is a problem. And that
so
the
I
Beckham
buy that
family
completely.
hates Nicola.
Meanwhile, I buy that completely.
I'm, I guess, more willing to buy that because we have evidence of Nicola being a complete nightmare. Like, read any
she pushed
story
a nanny
from like
down
2015. Right.
the stairs.
Allegedly.
When she was not that old.
Allegedly.
But the point is that a lot of these rifts are created and started because these are really, really highly covered people, which is why we created Beckham Watch, because we were obsessed with how much the children of the Beckhams were getting covered as like the next
despite
coming
being boring.
of Jesus, of Satan. And they're kind of boring, and they're kind of nepo baby wanderers. Like none of them really like know what they want to do. And the youngest one is even too young to have to do anything. She's like 13 or something.
She's
so
a minor, doesn't even have a public Instagram, so when they tag the kids on Instagram, they just hashtag her. Weird.
But the point as to like why we have this segment is because they are so picked apart and there's so much press about these younger Beckhams. So you have to take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Like like a lot of the time it's just them trying to figure out stuff to say with like little hints here and there.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in a long time that there's been a specific thing that feels really telling, where the tabloids are going absolutely crazy, but it feels like for a decent reason. Not decent, but like an actual telling reason.
Because even when Nicola and Victoria were allegedly feuding, they would counter those feuds by posting selfies together and be like, see, we're friends, LOL, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not happening here, right? This is the first time in a long time where I feel like there actually is a story. There's a there. And David Beckham celebrated his 50th birthday in not one, but two parties. Big celebrities came. Tom Cruise. Eva Longoria. Ana de Armas.
Everyone was there.
They really were big parties.
And also, David Beckham is the beloved Papa. He's the one that everyone
love Papa Beckham.
He's the one that everyone loves and knows. Like Victoria, yes, a beloved figure, whatever. But it's David Beckham is the he's the thing of this family.
Yes.
He's the stronghold of this family of boys, and one girl.
They love Papa Beckham, and so they had very, very fancy. I think one of them was like a black tie party. One was a little more casual, but two big parties, and the whole family came, but Brooklyn and Nicola. And they weren't tagged. And I think even more sus If he's not there, that's one thing. Fine. Maybe he was busy developing a new flavor of hot sauce. What I found interesting, what interests me, is that Brooklyn didn't even say, "Happy birthday, Papa. Wish I could have been there." There was no acknowledgement. These kids love acknowledging their famous family as often as they can. And Brooklyn did not acknowledge David's birthday on his Instagram.
And even before that, David reached out to his son by posting a baby picture of him and writing Brooklyn Beckham, I love you. There's clearly a rift here. Something is happening.
A rift.
Like, something is happening. Their beloved Brooklyn Beckham is not at his 50th birthday party. You're telling me those two, Nicola and Brooklyn, will go to any fucking party. They go to parties all the time, and they won't go to their beloved father's 50th. There's something going on here.
Where they would get incredible press, right? For days. They would get incredible press. They'd be able to look glam.
Sure.
They could be with their family. Something's going on. I finally believe that something's going on.
It's very, very, very telling. It's the first thing that's like truly like a statement. And if you click on, if you read a few of these tabloid stuff, there's a lot of things to take with a grain of salt. I agree with you that the feud between the brothers is a little silly. It seems
silly.
not real.
Yeah, no.
But I do think that there is truth because there's so many sources being like, it's not the brothers, it's Nicola. Nicola causes issues. She makes things difficult. People don't like her, blah, blah, blah. I agree that it's a bit misogynist and like obviously blaming the girlie is not ideal. But I'm kind of like, from the beginning, she has always kind of been a little bit of an issue and kind of like loving to kind of and we know that Brooklyn Beckham is kind of a fail son. He's a little bit of a pushover fail son. He hasn't had to do anything. He's the ultimate Nepo baby. He's been a chef. He's been a photographer. He made the hot sauce. He opened the restaurant. He closed the restaurant. Like he's not a motivated boy. I just think
not.
like.
Or he's motivated, but he's aimless. You're right. He's the classic prototypical Nepo baby.
Yes. And I think she comes from a
dining out on his
very,
name.
never forget how long they dragged out a lawsuit against the wedding planners that fucked up their wedding, reportedly, apparently, probably didn't. I just feel like the Nicola Peltz family is out for blood. They're out for blood.
I think it's, whatever it is, I think it's probably like deeply personal, and that's why it's not fully out there. Like it's not as simple as I think people are trying to make it seem. I would say it has, like you said, all I will agree to is that it probably has way more to do with Nicola than it does with Romeo and Kim Trunbull.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, this is bleak. But
it's bleak.
The funniest thing was that, tabloids can't get enough of this shit. But the Mirror, their take on it was the iconic senior features writer Siobhan McNally wrote, headline, "Forget Brooklyn Beckham feud. How I paid £250 to eat at the party venue and left hungry is more interesting." And then wrote
you know what? She's right.
She's right. Entire op-ed, complete with photos of herself eating at the restaurant where they had the party, and is like, "I was starving after this meal and it was so expensive." There's even a photo of the receipt at the end. It's like the funniest it's just like, it's such a clever way of covering this. They had
2 glasses of wine. They had 3 glasses of wine.
3 glasses of wine.
And then 2 prefix menus, and it came out to 457 pounds with tip.
For me, it was a good 15-minute walk from the tube station on one of the hottest days of the year so far, and I probably needed hosing down once I arrived, flustered and sticky, to this haven of calm.
The kicker of this is, after 2.5 hours of marveling at food made to look like other food, head chef Shawnee Bone waved us off, and we thanked the white apron chefs in the restaurant's open kitchen profusely, telling them, quote, "It was fabulous, thank you. But honestly, I could have murdered a burger an hour later." That's funny.
You got to get the angles where you can. So if you want to go get a free expensive meal, then definitely tie it to the Beckham feud.
In 2025, I will celebrate a journalist using the fucking expense account. I will fucking celebrate it.
I want to be famous.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop, because when you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores, we're talking fashion. We're talking beauty. We're talking electronics. We're talking home essentials. We're talking dining, travel, concert tickets, and more. I just pulled up my personal Rakuten account to see what I've earned money back on before. Books, dining, makeup, Sephora, Books. I'm just going to give you the names. COS, Gap. This is just like where I've shopped recently. Burlap and barrel. Oh, I bought spices. I got some points back on that. Design within reach.
I told you to get that pepper, that good black
little
pepper.
boxes. eBay. I love my Rakuten eBay points. The Real. Okay, so I'm just giving you, these are all places that I personally have shopped where Rakuten has given me a percentage back.
Your favorite stores like Dyson, Samsung, or Nike pay Rakuten a commission for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the commission with its members. That's you. Cashback is deposited directly into your PayPal account, or Rakuten can send you a check. The choice is yours. Lindsay likes the PayPal account. I'm sort of into a paper check. I like that idea. You can even maximize your savings by stacking cashback on top of other deals like store sales and coupons.
So get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. So see Rakuten.com for details. That's RAKUTEN. Your cashback really adds up.
Summer's almost here, and Mint Mobile has a hot take I fully support. Forget the summer bod. This year, it's all about the savings bod. We're talking skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. With premium plans starting at just $15 a month, you can keep cool without sweating your phone bill. You get high-speed data. You get unlimited talk, you get unlimited text, and you don't even have to change phones. Keep your current number and all your contacts. Mint Mobile makes it easy. So if you're tired of bloated bills, now's the time to switch. Get 3 months of premium wireless for just $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/who. That's mintmobile.com/who. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. This podcast is sponsored by Squarespace, our favorite website provider. We'll have it for the rest of our podcast and lives. Easiest thing to update.
And for our personals. And for our personal websites.
And for our personals. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I'll always rep Squarespace.
For sure. Because Squarespace makes it easy to update, change the look, get a new theme, check for analytics, leave comments, embed your podcast. It does everything you could possibly want a website to do. I literally cannot think of another thing that I want my Squarespace website to do that it doesn't already do. Without Squarespace, no one would know how to contact us beyond like Twitter and Instagram. We get emails from you because of our Squarespace. So check out squarespace.com/who for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code WHO to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
I want to be famous.
Now to relationships.
Let's move on to relationships. At first, when I saw we got 3 Instagram official relationships. I'm wary to call them hard launches because I think that term is sort of tainted at this point, but Instagram official is a good way of putting it. We have 3 Instagram official relationships. 1 we've kind of known about for a little bit. 2 are a little bit more new, but they were confirmed this past week. The first one, the biggest one, Gigi Hadid put Bradley Cooper on her grid for the first time ever. They're kissing, and if you notice, zoom in, Bradley's kissing Gigi at her birthday party, and his hands are in his pocket.
Wait, are his hands? His hands are in his pocket.
She's grabbing his little cheeky cheeks, and his hands are in his pocket.
Well, can I just say, I do think they're too them-y for this, in a way, for our coverage of them, of this. Though I did kind of gag at it, but like, I think they're a little them-y for this.
Gigi, yeah, sure.
She's a them, and he's an A-lister.
Yeah, but this together, something about them being together degrades both of them. I don't think you can disagree. I don't think you can disagree. I don't think you can disagree.
It's funny that he's 30 and she's 50. It's such an even
it's
age
so
gap relationship.
Simple.
It's so simple. It's really not hard to doing the math on that. It's very easy even for me, and I do not do math. You know.
Okay, so let's move on from this 2 thems who make a who couple and on to 2 who's who don't make a then couple.
Who still stay. But I do like the name Sauce Gardner. I think I did.
Sauce Gardner is an incredible name.
It's an incredible name. I didn't know we had a Jets player named Sauce Gardner, but that rocks. And he's dating Ice Spice, which also like rocks for her because she loves attending a sports game, and now she doesn't have to go with Taylor Swift. She can go by herself.
I know, you're so right.
Just saying.
She can finally go somewhere else. She can sit in another box. She can
finally go by herself. She can finally go to the game by herself. She doesn't have to go.
He plays for the Jets. He's a quarterback.
You know I'm kidding. Sauce Gardner, love it. Is he good? I don't know. But they're, he maybe dated.
He's a professional player. Yeah, he's good.
Sure. And he maybe dated Sexy Red last year.
Well, I was like, who has he ever dated anyone else famous? And he had like a long-term college girlfriend who's not famous. I put her name down there. She's like very much a lay person. But there were rumors that he was dating Sexy Red last year based exclusively on this weird TikTok of her kind of meeting up with him after the game.
If this is the only evidence, then they didn't date.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Take it with a grain of salt. But the funny thing about this video where she walks on the field to like congratulate him after this game, and she's there and they're posing together. If you look in her hand, I tried to get a still from this image where you could see what's in her hand. She's holding a stack of bills that is apparently $40,000. And a lot of the comments on the TikTok are like, oh, that's really cute. Why is Sexy Red holding $40,000? And like, I can't, like,
Why not?
Nowhere could I find an answer to this.
Why not?
Nowhere could I find an answer.
So I have to say, it doesn't look like they dated. This doesn't give dating to me. This is just like he posed in a photo with Sexy Red, you know? And who wouldn't pose in a photo with Sexy Red?
But Ice and Sauce are in fact dating, and she hard launched him on Instagram in a photo together.
He would prefer to date another red, and that is Ice Spice, who is also a redhead. Both are not natural redheads, but that is okay.
Then the final hard launch that we got was another couple we've talked about in the past, Shailene and Lucas Bravo.
This is a couple I'll never get over. She is just does whatever she wants. Like Shailene Woodley, keep on going with this. Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
She hit him in a carousel.
They went to fucking Stagecoach together. That's incredible. My God. She was brushing her teeth with clay, I'm sure. And they went together. He's wearing a cowboy hat. Wow. It's like she found a French guy and made him a cowboy. It's of dreams. You know, it's perfect.
Something I found a little heartening about this is that when I went to, because think about her last, not counting Roberta Colindrez, her last like real high profile relationship with Aaron Rodgers, who became kind of like a political nightmare. One of the top most recent posts on Lucas Bravo's Instagram after the one where he revealed Shailene is him like complaining about Trump, right? Like, so she's not dating another like right-wing loser. So I think she's
no one is as big of a loser as Aaron
Rodgers. No one.
So I don't think it's possible. But Lucas Bravo is kind of loving to bite the hand that feeds him when he was complaining about Emily in Paris. So he's an outspoken French guy, but
I don't even think I'm that handsome. Oh, everyone always talks about how handsome I am. Okay, relax.
Well, that's why he grew his hair out and wore a hat and is now dating Shailene Woodley.
But, okay, I said that when we said everything, so much happened I can't believe all this happened while Lauren was away.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, the other biggest thing that happened was JoJo Siwa dumped Kath Ebbs.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
At the after party of Celebrity Big Brother.
She got out of that house and she said, bye-bye.
Kath,
and
Kath,
I feel bad.
I feel bad for both parties, honestly. I feel bad for JoJo. I feel bad for Kath.
Why do I feel bad for JoJo? JoJo did it. I feel bad for Kath. Justice for Kath.
I feel bad just because JoJo's so young and JoJo's still in the very long and drawn out process
21.
of figuring herself out. And she's figuring herself out in the Celebrity Big Brother house after being like gay bashed by Mickey Rourke. Like I do feel bad for JoJo that all of this happened, but I guess I do feel more bad for
21 years old, and she went on that show and she kind of disrespected her partner and who had to watch it live on TV, and then literally as soon as they got to the after party was like, never mind. But you know, the real tea is like, is JoJo gonna end up dating this British guy, this Love Island
Hughes
guy? Like, or I don't know, you never know.
Well, she says they're just friends. They're incredible friends.
JoJo really has JoJo's star power is so powerful. Like she really she's
a supernova.
So she's a supernova.
I don't know if you had good internet service while this was happening, but as it was happening, Kath posted the video first. And it's this
really
long...
hard. It was really hard to watch.
Hard to watch.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
It's a front-facing, very sad video where Kath says, tells the long story about how they went to go see JoJo after Celebrity Big Brother, and then JoJo said, let's talk, and dumped
at the party.
At the
party. Brutal.
And Kath's really upset. They're crying, blah, blah, blah. The video gets deleted. Like, Kath posted it. They unposted it. Like instantly. Of course it's on the internet, so it's going to be there forever.
And I flew across the world to support and be there and hold that person in whatever they would be experiencing, leaving such a wild experience. And instead, I was dumped at the after party with Chris in the next room. which is fucking crazy to say out loud. It's truly crazy. Like,
Then JoJo, days later, if not like a week later, gets an Us Weekly like digital cover. I don't know if it's the actual cover, but an Us Weekly digital cover that was tied to a long form interview that she did with Us Weekly where she's asked to like explain herself. And
are you ready for JoJo Siwa's truth?
Yeah. It's very like
new song.
It's weird to see Us Weekly try to do like editorial photos because they're not very good at it.
Of course not.
In this interview, there's weird talking around the split where she's like, I was basically mad at her for posting this video because we always said that we would not do stuff like that. We would not like disparage each other publicly. And then Kath did that to me. So I think when it went up, JoJo was like, what are you doing? And then Kath felt bad and deleted it. And I think JoJo explained herself a little better after the fact. And then Kath felt less angry about it. That's sort of how it's seeming. I think Kath did this as this very genuine emotional response to how hurt they were by JoJo. Felt bad, deleted it, and now has to deal with the fact that like they posted it and shouldn't have posted it. But they're still upset with JoJo because JoJo did do something shitty. But JoJo claims that there's more to it than what Kath said.
Well, also then JoJo's kind of like always redefining her sexuality. Oh, I was going by a lesbian and now I feel way more queer.
I'm
it's like
queer,
that's
yeah.
what's hard. It's hard to be young in the spotlight because you're constantly being asked like, what are you? Who are you? What are you doing? What is that? Da, da, da. So she's doing that, and they're like, well, is that connected to you being in the house, having this really strong friendship with this man, this cis man?
Wow.
She's like, oh, no, not at all, da, da, da. But I'm like, okay, you know. But then they're like, you called him your friendship soulmate. Can you define that for us? Like, they're really digging into, like...
They are.
It's just annoying because that means that JoJo now has said a whole new slot of things that then she will probably have to go back on or feel differently about because she's young and because these feel so defining. It's always like these terms that are so defining, you know?
Yesterday, I saw this. No, yesterday, May 4th. Exclusive. JoJo Siwa's heartbroken ex, Kath Ebb, seeks comfort in the arms of a friend as they share a kiss after returning to Australia following their brutal split at Celebrity Big Brother after party. And then I looked at the kiss, and it's the most, like, friendly two gay people, two queer people being like, hey, love. Like, it is a peck. It could only be described as a peck.
I want the best for Kath. I want Kath just to go back living their Kath life. Didn't they have, like, a coffee shop in Brisbane or something? I already forget.
Yes.
It was like
yes.
Okay. I think that's fantastic.
They're an influencer. Yeah.
You don't want to date JoJo Siwa. That's too much. Honestly, you don't.
No.
You really don't. You really don't. Okay, moving on. This is so nasty. I can't. I mean, not nasty, but it's just like, it's so annoying. I can't deal with this. Like, anyways, I think it was one of the message boards, one of the Reddits, either FOMWA or pop, one of those pop culture Reddits where they
chat,
one of them kind of came.
Dumois. It was Dumois. It started on
posted, hey, does everybody know yet that BJ Novak is dating Delaney Rowe? If you don't know who Delaney Rowe is, honestly, that's so normal. Like, good for you. But if you
skip ahead because you shouldn't know.
But if you've opened your a TikTok recently and you've scrolled around, and because even I'm not looking at TikTok that often, but I'd seen these videos because they go pretty viral. She does these kind of well written. They're well written. They're pretty funny. Parodies of rom-coms where it's like, how do you even explain it, Bobby? Like,
not just rom-coms, but like character tropes.
Quincy, I know you're scared. Yeah, there are a lot of things in this life that can hurt us. Sharks, heights, a Martian brain-sucking alien that's come to Earth to abduct you. But not this. Not the rain. When it rains, the world pays attention. Be the rain.
Like, oh, the really cool girl in a rom-com who works at the coffee shop. Oh, the upset mother of a upper-class family who's mad at their angry teen. I find them insufferable. I think as many people don't like them as do like them. And she's given interviews where she's like, yeah, people say that they're cringe, but that's kind of the point. I want you to cringe at like these archetypes.
They're supposed to be cringe. Like, I think the idea is that like she's poking fun at movie tropes that are, again, well worn. We all know, we've all watched these movies, and she's doing it so that they're cringe, and it's for a new generation. I think that's what's kind of working with them, is that she's doing it for TikTok in this kind of short form way, and it's repeated, it's old, it's stale, but it somehow works for her. And now she
wants
is
to be an
being
actor.
That's the other thing, is like, that's why I think it's actually hard to watch them, because it's not a funny girl doing a random thing. It's a girl trying to actually, exactly. So now it's come out that she is, of course, dating
BJ Novak.
Number 1 Hollywood scumbag. Just kidding. Number 12 Hollywood
You're
scumbag,
kidding?
BJ Novak.
Fine,
No,
sure.
well,
Number
just-
12.
I'm just
works.
not giving him number 1.
They were spotted together. They were photographed together, and now they haven't commented on this, but
No.
they've been seen out and about together at parties. So
They were
we don't
previously
have,
photographed together at the official How Long Gone after party at the Standard in New York. So if you want like the kind of douchiness that we're dealing with here, just that's a sentence. If you know, you know, and if you not, I'm not. If you don't, I'm not getting into it. So that's it.
And yeah, we've already gotten like so many calls about this particular relationship, and I at the same time, I understand it, but I'm also sort of like, what am I supposed to fucking say about this? Because beyond these videos, she hasn't really done much.
No, I mean she's
dated other people.
No,
and
she's
BJ's just not a fun person to talk about.
Well,
you
he's
know?
kind of fun to talk about, though. He's kind of fun to talk about. What are you talking about? He's fascinating. He's a fascinating figure.
What we need is a shady like Mindy Kaling like on one of these posts, but I think Mindy's kept it together, and Mindy isn't
It's
like
a
out here liking
I'm sorry.
the posts.
He's a fascinating figure. Like he is this like he's like barely acting. I think he had a movie that he wrote maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, a
Wasn't
couple
that
years
good?
ago.
But obviously, The Office is like one of the biggest shows that's ever existed. So he kind of will always be pretty famous because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got this kind of like John Mayer reputation, which has been written about by non-famous people as well as been spoken about famous people. And he has this like, you know, talk about a soul friendship. He has this soulmate friendship, if to use Jojo Siwa's terms, with Mindy Kaling, who is so much more famous than him at this point and rich. And people really suspect that he is the sperm donor. He's the for her kids. So it's like,
and she'll never say that, obviously.
No, and neither will he. But people have really created this narrative around their friendship as kind of this like unrequited thing, which I actually find really annoying, because I'm like, how dare you? Like, that's so rude to Mindy, right? Like,
yeah,
whatever.
She maybe just wanted his sperm or wanted his companionship. You know, like
or
people
both.
It is weird the way that people have turned.
But they did date
because
I think,
they're
at one
friends.
Point, so. Yeah.
They've turned it as like ammunition against Mindy, you know, like, which has always felt rude and cruel. When it has always seemed like they do kind of have like a functional relationship. It's just not. It's not a romantic one in ways that we are more closely familiar.
I think they did date back in the day, and I think that's maybe they were better off friends and close friends. You know, honestly, I don't know the deal, and that's why I'm always kind
like
of
Jerry and
whatever.
Elaine.
But I like Jerry.
Like Jerry and Elaine, you know?
I just hate that it's always put on Mindy that she's like lusting after this disgusting man forever. Like, it's like, give me
makes
a
me
fucking
feel bad.
break.
That's what makes me
and
feel
he's
bad.
dating a 28-year-old, you know, like, you know, it's just a very annoying narrative, whether it's true or not, because then you're working off a narrative that isn't necessarily true because no one's confirmed anything, and you're creating fanfic around the narrative that is not even necessarily true. Anyways, it makes so much sense for him in a very John Mayer way to date this random viral woman on TikTok. Sorry, and that is funny. It's hilarious, honestly.
Moving on. Asa Gonzalez is dating Nicole Scherzinger's ex, a Bulgarian tennis player named Grigor Dimitriov. Sounds like something from Mission Impossible.
I love Asa Gonzalez. She is dating. She
rocks.
She dates the hottest guys.
She does. She rocks.
She fucking, and I'm not even, I feel like I'm going to say it. It's going to come out like I'm slut shaming her. No, I'm not. I'm actually so jealous. Her like dating history is like the hottest guys you can imagine. It's just like.
She's been rumored to have dated Jason Momoa, Timothy Chalamet, Liam Hemsworth, Josh Duhamel. Like, she's out here. She's having fun. Fun. And now she's dating Nicole Scherzinger's ex, and truly I recognized his name because I was like, who did he date? He dated someone famous, and it was Nicole Scherzinger.
Love that.
They dated for a long time.
They did, and now she dates a football guy or a rugby guy or whatever who's so hot. Anyways, Nicole does well too, so. I don't know. Is he a good tennis player? I don't know, and I don't care. I read his Wikipedia, and I couldn't tell whether he was a good tennis player. He also once dated Maria Sharapova, who made the famous tennis gummies. What are they called? Sugar Povas.
Sugar Povas.
Famous split of two people I didn't know were dating. Iconic when people split and I didn't know they were dating. That never happens.
I think we talked about it once that they were dating.
I forgot.
When you get two reality stars from different franchises dating, that becomes who weekly fodder. Because we had a Bachelorette, Tayshia Adams, and a Summer House, Luke Goldbrinson, and they dated for a couple of years. They're split. I'm going to sort of sum up their relationship, I pulled 5 headlines about their relationship from the beginning and end of their time together, all from Us Weekly. April 10th, 2023. The Bachelorette's Tayshia Adams and Summer House's Luke Goldbrinson hold hands, spark dating rumors. August 7th, 2023. Tayshia Adams and Luke Goldbrinson step out for date night at Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. November 23rd, 2023. Former Bachelorette Tayshia Adams and Luke Goldbrinson beam at Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. November 28th, 2024. Eagle-eyed fan spot Tayshia Adams and Luke Goldbrinson at Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade again. And then finally, April 25th, 2025. Tayshia Adams and Luke Goldbrinson split after quietly dating for 2 years. Exclusive.
I'm gonna say it wasn't that quiet, although I did just say I didn't remember that it happened. But
yeah, but like no, but it was quiet in that their 3 most public appearances were Taylor Swift, Thanksgiving Parade.
I would say those are 2 things that I would, if I was dating somebody, I would use our celebrity combined to like get good tickets to, you know?
Yeah, I never want to go to the Thanksgiving Day Parade again, though. That is a miserable thing.
But if you were VIP, you would. Are you kidding?
What does VIP even mean? You still got to be in the crowd. If I'm on a float, sure, I'll go on a float.
You're getting VIP. You're on the float. You're on the stands. Al Roker is feeding you caviar. Like I don't know. It's better, and I would do it. Is what I'm saying.
If I'm not standing in the crowd, I'm in. If I'm sitting on a float, I would do it.
That's what I was saying to you. You would use your star power to
your
do that, if anything. Okay, moving on. Engaged. Crystal Hefner, Hugh Hefner's last wife, found a hunk, her own age, slay, and is marrying him. Love that. Incredible. It must feel so good for her to not have to fuck Hugh Hefner anymore. I don't know.
He's really hot. He owns like a scuba diving tour company in Hawaii. I went to their TripAdvisor to read the reviews. Guess what? The reviews are all good. It's called See Through Sea on Kailua Kona in Hawaii, and it looks really cute. And
I'm going.
They're both hot, so great.
Why we have to care about Crystal Hefner anymore? I guess she's going to lose the Hefner, so then she really will just be.
Oh yeah, she can't wait to chop that off.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, Holly Madison on her podcast is like, Hugh Hefner's disgusting, and it's like, we know, we knew, we know. Moving on.
Oh,
Christina Hawk's divorce is settled. Which divorce?
Thank God.
Oh my God, stop. She thanked Laura Wasser.
No, the whole story is like, Laura Wasser, you are a fucking diva queen. Thank you for taking care of my divorce. I love your ass. You're so amazing. I fucking hate Josh Hall. Laura Wasser queen.
Meanwhile, this is all in caps. This is like the scariest thing she's
so
ever
hard
written.
to read.
Christina Hack is like, Laura Wasser, you are a fucking diva, and I will need your advice again when I get divorced for the 25th time.
Laura is already expecting the call for her to break up with this new guy. His name is Christopher LaRocca. She's already trying to integrate him into the freaky deaky polycule she has with Tarek and Heather. Look at this photo of them together. They're all in black. Ew, they're the most disgusting people on the planet. I'm sorry.
Wait, can Christopher LaRocca, does he have any building skills? Because she will integrate him.
No, he's a businessman, I think. I don't think he's in the builder industry, because remember they went on like a trip to like Paris together. I think he's a businessman. He is the president and CEO of Network Connects. He's focused on working closely with the company's leadership to accelerate Network Connects' positioning as a global leader in communications infrastructure design and implementation. Yeah.
Flo Milli had a baby. Woo, that's so nice. Who'd she have a baby with? I don't know.
We knew Flo Milli was pregnant, but we only found out who the father was very recently. It's a rapper named G6 Red Dot.
Who is that? Okay, he's a rapper named G6 Red Dot.
He's associated with Kodak Black.
That's not great.
He's not very famous, and he doesn't really have that many listeners. But Flo Milli, right after having the baby, attended a music festival. I think she was like in the there's the headliners with the biggest font, and those are Missy Elliott, The Killers, and Anderson .Paak. But she's the second size font. So she's essentially second billed
so
at
she
this
had a baby
music
and
festival.
then immediately went back on stage. That's incredible.
The River Beat Festival. Yeah, she did.
Flo mommy shit. Wait, no, this is crazy. Wait, this is crazy. Landon Barker is dating this woman named Skyla Sanders. Okay, I was like, I don't care.
Who's that? Who cares?
I was like, who cares? Whatever. It's like Landon Barker is Travis Barker's son with what's her face, but whatever. Who cares? Okay.
My first thought was, oh, is she the daughter of Deion Sanders? Because that's the most famous Sanders I could think of, right?
Sure.
That up.
Okay.
I'm
could
so
not
wrong,
be
right?
more wrong. So the article. So listen, so I'm reading this article and I'm like, Landon Barker hard launches new girlfriend after being seen at Coachella. She also has famous parents. I'm like, yep, here I go. I'm like, who are the famous parents for Skyla Sanders? Landon and Skyla have one big thing in common. They both have famous parents. While Landon is the son of Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker and Miss USA Shanna Moakler, that's who I meant to, Shanna Moakler. Skyla is the daughter of actress Liberty Ross and director Rupert Sanders. And if you're like, if that means nothing to you, again, you live a healthy life. But if you have been paying attention to anything and have a semblance of a memory, Rupert Sanders is the director who Kristen Stewart had an affair with after Twilight. That's who she cheated on Robert Pattinson with when they were on the set of his first movie, Snow White and the Huntsman.
It obviously Kristen
The
Stewart
photos
is an extremely
are
famous and successful person, but that
photos
was
are
like
devastating.
That was a huge scandal that temporarily torpedoed her career.
Never forget when President Trump tweeted Kristen's slander about Kristen Stewart because of this.
Yeah. In 2012, he was like, cheater.
That's what a big deal this was. The photos were brutal. They literally caught photos of them necking and
making out in the truck.
They're totally brutal. And then Liberty Ross, who's a model, went to Vanity Fair and spoke out. And they wrote this long profile of her on how kind of humiliating it was and how terrible it was. And guess what? She was in the movie with them. She played Kristen Stewart's mother in the movie.
A lot of the listeners probably remember this, but it's worth remembering. That is who this woman is.
So this
the
is
one
their
who's
kid.
marrying Travis Barker's son.
No, not marrying, just dating.
Dating. Sorry.
They're 20. Okay, they're 21. Sorry. They're not marrying. They're just dating. But I really recommend this long old Vanity Fair piece called Liberty Without Touch from December 2013 is when she talks about this huge scandal. Scandal. And now their kid is dating Travis Barker's son, which I have to say is they work so hard and she's dating Travis Barker. But I think the Liberty and Rupert are friends again, or at least they co-parent well because there's a photo of them together with their daughter. She just graduated.
At graduation, yeah.
She graduated in 2023. From college.
Let's move on to Rita.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the number one Who. Lindsay, Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman? Rita Ora becomes the latest celeb to quit Kate Moss's model agency and move that, quote, makes sense. Okay. And then, of course, it's in The Sun. I've been told that the Anywhere hitmaker is set to spread her wings after it was announced she had signed to the huge U.S. firm Range Media. A fashion insider said Rita and Kate are still pals, but the time has come for them to do their own thing when it comes to business. Okay, so Rita signed. So basically, I think Rita signed with a new agency and they said, you do not need a separate modeling agency. If you're just going to sign with us, you don't need to be in the Kate Moss agency. That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And I think she was like, okay, fine.
Yes. And Rita and Kate have been friends forever. And she's been with this agency for almost a decade. I think people are trying to insert is there animosity between the two of them? No, she's just moving on.
No offense to Kate Moss, but I'm like, how involved is she even in this agency? But whatever.
Yeah.
We've been getting so many amazing footage from people who've seen Rita open for Kylie. And I have to say, earnestly, people have just been she's slaying. Earnestly. Everything I've gotten is videos being she looks amazing. She sounds amazing. She sang a song with Kylie. She got to do a little Kylie duet moment, which is incredible. And I think it's over. I think her part in the tour is over. She gets to go back to doing all the things that she's doing. She does all the things.
It's done. But anyway, yeah, that's all Rita's up to. She's slaying at Kylie Minogue or slayed at Kylie Minogue, and now she's done and she can go back to Masked Singer. And actually, she has to shoot a Marvel movie, so I'm sure she's doing that this summer.
She couldn't support Kylie on that full tour, but I like that she did that big chunk of tour. I think she proved herself that she's still a performer. She's still a singer. And she's coming out with her new song soon.
Oh, yeah, the one she teased. Heat, hot.
Sweat.
Everyone
Wait,
who
sweat?
has called
Hot.
in, I think it's
Heat.
called Heat.
Heat,
Everyone who has
not
called
sweat.
in has said that she slays.
Slayed.
And I believe them. Thank you for listening to another episode of Who Weekly. Keep calling in at 619-WHO-THEM to leave questions, comments, and concerns for our Friday show, Who's There. Support us on patreon.com/Who Weekly for bonus episodes, a Discord server, commentary tracks, and more. You can also get the audio only on Apple Podcasts. Definitely want to sign up before May 29th because we're going to be recapping And Just Like That and The Gilded Age this summer. It's just going to make your summer worth living, I think. We will see you on Friday. Thank you to Katie and Eric of The Who's for providing our theme song on Tuesdays. Thank you to Timmy, our research and editorial assistant, for researching and editorializing. Bye.
Bye.
You will dream it.
They want to know.
Hey. 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 I want to be famous.